listening to the Death Metal Crew, a Hearthstone podcast.
DRC, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Death Rattle Crew, a Hearthstone podcast, and you're listening to episode 26. I'm Mike Tech2 Hearn, joined by the legend formerly known as Jeremy. How you doing, sir?
Hey, what's going on, Mike?
Good to see you. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely. Exciting times in Hearthstone.
Yeah, what have you been up to? It's been a couple weeks since you've been on.
Mostly just kind of messing around on ladder, which we'll kind of get to a little later. I thought that, or ladder, you and I had both discussed, once you hit legend, ladder's kind of irrelevant. You're just kind of playing around on there. But I'm sitting pretty, I think, at rank 8.
Nice.
Messing around with Hybrid Hunter a little bit. What about you?
Same old. I have been a scrub these past few weeks. I mean, missing the podcast a few weeks. I have not had the time to play a lot. Work's just been busy, but that should change starting this next week. So we'll see. We'll see how far I get this this month. And as we're going to bring up, it's kind of hard not to talk about it yet. But I guess the last month, and I mean, tell you how you think too. I just haven't really had the drive to push competitive. If I've been playing, it's generally for the past month. Really, it's been arena.
Yeah.
And what I hate is I finally completed my card slot, or I have all the cards. I completed the collection. There you go.
Even the bad ones?
Yeah, every single one. I have every single card now.
You have a Nat Pagel.
I have a Nat Pagel, indeed. Remember the days when that card was good?
Oh, no, I don't. I didn't play at all. I started, October of last year. So that was, shortly after his nerf. I started playing right around the time they nerfed Leroy and Soulfire and all that. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, at one time, Nat Pagel was the Dr. Boom of Hearthstone.
Yeah, I hear he drew the card on the end of your turn.
Yes, yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I wonder why that's better.
You're right. So all that's to say, I'm really looking forward to this set dropping. I feel like there's a lot of cool things going on here that the game kind of needed. Not that the past expansions were bad. I just feel like we as a community are figuring out this game quicker and quicker every single set drop. I mean, what do you think?
I think Blizzard knows that and is starting to sandbag cards because I feel like I was really, really worried when they dropped Inspire on us and all these cards that, basically require additional mana to make relevant. And then these last, 15, 20 cards have been, if not awesome, at least interesting. So, but I'm pretty excited, man. Everything that they've released so far, like I said, it's either pretty cool or epically bad to the point that it's going to be fun to play it pretty much anywhere on the ladder coming up.
So if you've been listening to the show and paying attention, me and Avery have a 40 card or 40 pack bet that Silent Night is going to be a thing. I'm looking for it on here.
Stealth Divine Shield, the 3 mana 2/2.
Yes. I'm saying, here it is. Yeah. I'm saying that's going to be a thing. I don't know where it's going to be a thing. I don't know what deck. It might just be in one deck. I think that's going to be a card somewhere. I don't know.
Based on our discussion earlier, I think we're going to have to make another bet on a different card in Shaman. But
right. Okay.
I think we have a different opinion. We'll kind of get to that one.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear your thoughts too. Again, before we started, folks, we just started talking about maybe some of what we wanted to talk about tonight. But yeah, I am excited to talk about that though. It's interesting to see. To hear what people's opinions are first glance at a card until you go, or what about this situation? You're like, oh, oh, then it's really garbage, or like, oh, that's a really good card. Which we'll kind of talk about later. But with that said, don't forget, folks, the monthly giveaways. Really easy to get in. All you got to do is follow us. You get an entry per follow on Twitter or YouTube. Just search the handle Death Rattle Crew, and you get 5 entries for the month. If you write into us at mail@deathrattlecrew.com and your email is read and answered and talked about on the podcast. So free swag. All you got to do is follow or write in. That's it. Really easy. So don't forget to do that. And with that, we will get into Meta-Anatomy. DRC would like to thank Brainiacs for their support of this podcast. If you have a tech idea for improving your business's workflow, Brainiacs can provide a turnkey solution to specifically fit your needs. You can contact them at www.brainiux.com. And welcome back. This is Meta-Anatomy, your one weekly stop for everything meta in Hearthstone. I am Tac2, joined by the legend formerly known as Jeremy. So, sir, let's start with the good news. Maybe you kind of brought it up earlier. This was your birth. You're coming into the podcast realm here. We're talking about ladder rewards. Finally,
ladder rewards. Wow, that's a cool idea.
Yeah,
I don't know where would have got that.
Idea. It's almost like Mage and Arena, Blizzard doesn't listen. Patron Warrior, Blizzard hasn't listened. They're going to. But here, I think this is more important than they've listened. This is fantastic. Bravo, Blizzard.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. So, guys, if you don't know, I don't know where you've been hiding, but Blizzard has announced that players that reach the rank 20 through, Legend, it's been confirmed that if the reward system kind of tops out at 5, but basically the players in between rank 20 and 5 are going to be given a chest very similar to what you get from an arena run. And what the chest will contain, it'll have your card back for the month for hitting rank 20 or better. It'll have a little bit of dust. I think they showed one that got like 40 dust, one that got like 20 dust, so not really much there. But the cool part is, for those of you trying to get some gold card action up in Hearthstone, you're going to get gold cards, and some of them are going to be. They showed it a rare one. They showed a couple of commons, an epic. I think there was a gold snake trap shown for somebody hitting rank 5. So. What do you think, man? I'm
just excited. It's not, it's almost, no, it really was. Like, all right, what rank did you get? Did you get to rank 20? Because that's a milestone. You get your card back. Did you get Legend? Because then you got that card back and you're at Legend. And that's kind of it. Those were the two milestones. It was level or rank 20 where, players, well, I mean, not going to downplay or make fun of anyone, but you either, or maybe you don't have enough cards to make a super competitive deck, or you're new to the game. You might be there, but the reason why I bring this up is because there's also those people that they have the awesome decks and they will play up until like rank 18 and then lose all the way back down to 20, so that way they can farm their gold heroes.
Exactly.
So that's what I hate about those ranks. So if I talk bad about people at rank 20, those are the people I'm talking bad about, not anyone else. We're here for you other people. Hopefully you can gather something and learn something from us. So that way you're not stuck with those people that do that at rank 20, 19, 18. But all that to say, there was really, it was just 20 and Legend. Now, now there's a reason to really hit it. And if you don't have time to make it to Legend, you've got the cards, the skill, you still get rewarded. And I think that's awesome. It's just Blizzard, that's perfect. It's not necessarily it's a feel good. It's I didn't waste my time over the last month, like I had fun playing the game, but I get rewarded instead of, what we've had for the last, I guess, several months.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not like they're having to give away gold or anything that. Like, it's a really small reward in the grand scheme of things. I mean, if you think about hitting rank 5, you've probably played somewhere in between 150, 200 games, you know, at like a 50 to 55% win rate, something like that.
Sure.
So, you know, that's a lot of games. But for someone who's already doing that, for them to just say, hey, here's this, this golden snake trap for you at the end of the month, that's 400 dust. You know,
sure.
You can craft a big game hunter with that if you don't have one. You can craft one of these new guys that we're seeing. So I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's a really good idea, even though it's not the most amazing thing in the world. It's at least a step in the right direction.
I agree.
It at least shows that they acknowledge, all right, there are people who don't like playing. And another cool thing about this, if you get to rank 6 or 5, but then, you know, you continue to play, you find this cool Malagos Hunter list and it drops you all the way back down to rank 12, it doesn't keep track of where you are at the end of the season. It just tracks what your highest rank was. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm at rank 5 and we've got 3 days left in the season. I don't want to play this, you know, dumb Murloc priest list. Like, play your dumb Murloc priest list. It doesn't matter. You know, you've already hit rank 5.
Right.
So that's really cool.
Yeah. This is fantastic. I think the only two other things that are in this realm of, just of the game, that I'd like to see. The only two other things, it's just a short list, Blizzard, not a big deal. Statistics, like in client or online, preferably in client, you know, how many, not just how many wins I've had, how many losses, you know, win percentage, maybe per deck, you know, just things that offsite things do just in the game, you know, something simple like that. The other thing's probably not going to happen, but I really enjoy doing this. I've thanks to some buddies at work, so shout out to all the guys at work that do this. I don't play Counter-Strike Go really a lot. I don't like the game, just because I'm horrible at it. But I have been betting skins, gun skins. For those of you who don't know, Counter-Strike Go, you get skins on the guns, and there are websites you go to, and you can gamble your skins on competitive games. So it might be like a TSM versus a Penta or something like that. And you can bet skins, so I guess in-game currency, as it were, on those tournaments. And it's a lot of fun. I don't really even play the game. If we had something like that in Hearthstone where, you know, like BlizzCon comes up, WCS, or, Team Archon throws a tournament and you can go in and bet gold or dust on a game, I would love that. That would be freaking fantastic.
That sounds really, really cool, but I think I would be willing to bet all of my Counter-Strike skins that will never happen.
I agree 110%. You know, like, here's the thing, you know, Blizzard, take a cut off the top so that way it kind of, you know, it's kind of a gold burn too. I'm okay with that, you know, but yeah, I mean, you're right. It's probably never going to happen.
I'm going to introduce my cousin to Hearthstone, and then the next day he will have spent $20 and then dusted all his cards and gambled all of it away.
There'll be that one guy that goes in and just dusts everything. I'm going high. I'm going high on a Maz. Here we go. High roll.
All on Trump. He's got this. Dragon Priest. I've been watching it all week.
That's right.
It's gonna be great.
There'll be dust pour in no time. Oh man. Yeah. Again, Blizzard would love to see it. I know it'll probably never happen, but I felt like I need to ask. Just put it out there. Let the feelers go out. So,
hey, real quick before we off this subject, I did want to, something I heard today and found out is that this whole highest rank you get to does start at the end of this month, but it doesn't start tracking until the Argent tournament releases. So
gotcha.
Right now, if you're sitting at rank 5 and you have no goal of getting to legend, just sit at rank 5, you know, play casual.
Gotcha.
Because once the Argent tournament picks up, it's going to start with whatever rank you're at right then.
Yeah.
track through the end of the month. So if they release it on, say the 20th or the 22nd, it'll be whatever the highest rank you reach between the 22nd and the end of the month. So
I hope the folks that are afraid or get ladder anxiety and don't play on ladder and they go to casual or they just don't do it at all and they play arena. I'm hoping this brings more of those people there because we need more. And we'll say that we've got millions and millions of players, but I have noticed I've run across the same people once I get higher levels, like consecutively over and over again. I've seen the same names.
Especially if you get up there pretty early. I queued into the same guy like 3 times today trying to get requests.
So yeah, people come play ranked mode with us.
Yeah, so much fun.
So that's just fantastic news. But we've got some again more. I say new cards. We've been getting new cards for weeks now. But do we want to talk about the new cards, or do we want to talk about the I guess the thoughts on new cards and whether they're overrated, underrated, and then we come to find out after the fact that they were either overrated or underrated.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could start with that. Just kind of throw out that, like, hey, we're going to go over some new cards, but we don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, so TLDR, we're not going to just talk about all the new cards released. If you care at all, I'm sure you've already seen it, heard it all. And I mean, I spoke with you about this a little bit, Jeremy, too. I don't really like talking about new cards too terribly much because of the issue of overrated, underrated, and come to find out we're just wrong.
And for anyone who listens to more than one podcast about Hearthstone, we don't want to come late to the party.
Right. Sure.
And you guys completely just skip over this podcast because you're like, oh, I've already heard, X, Z, and Y podcasts all talk about the same cards.
Right. Right. So I guess the point is how many cards, like, for example, well, we kind of talked about before we started recording was Trogzor. A lot of people thought that card was going to be played a lot more than it was. I included. And the game, I blame the nerf of Miracle Rogue. And some of, or the changes, I guess, of Mage as to why that card wasn't played a lot. Because I felt that card and the other Trog cards were meant to counter decks like that, but we're not getting any decks like that. Even the Tempo Mages, it just doesn't feel strong enough to play Trogs against that, let alone the fact that that's really the only deck that if you're playing Trogs, a mass amount of them in a deck, that's the deck that you're hoping for. Among all the other potential decks that are out there.
Well, I think Trogzor, in my opinion, the reason he didn't work is, number one, he just doesn't have a deck. Every card that's in the meta, with the exception of Dr. Boom, has like a specific deck that it fits in. Like let's take one of the like a mage legendary, Archmage Antonidas. Mm-hmm. No, is it Alex? No, which
Antonidas?
Yeah. So he has like two or three different decks that he fits specifically in and fills a role in. The problem with Trogzor, I feel like, is that the role he's trying to fill is really annoying card to put onto the board that makes it hard for your opponents to deal with. Mm-hmm. But the very nature of him as a card is that he allows your opponent to decide when to deal with him. So you can, when like people were saying, oh, well, you're going to have to fireball him, and then you're going to have this other card to have to deal with the Trog that he, spits out. But like, that's not really the way that Hearthstone works. Like fireballs are saved until you're about to kill your opponent, and they go to face. Yeah. If you're fireballing a minion, you've already lost the game anyway. So
I mean, unless it's an extreme threat, absolutely. I mean, when those that set dropped, I did play it, and against your control decks, just straight control decks, it's amazing. But
absolutely,
with all the mid-range and aggro decks out there, it's a horrible card. There are so many other cards you'd rather have than that. There's nothing worse than playing against 5 of the minions on a board and you play a 6/6, just, Baron. No taunt, nothing. It's like, okay.
you play Trogzor, I'll play Savannah Highmane, we'll see who wins.
Right. Yeah. It's just, and it's too bad. It's almost like a tech card, and it's just not used enough, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's no environment in which it has become good so far. That's not to say it's not a good card. There are lots of good cards that don't see play.
Yeah.
Fire Elemental in Shaman, that card's amazing. If that card was in any other class, it would see play. It's probably the third or second or so best 6-drop in the entire game.
Yeah.
But because the deck that wants to run it is bad.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the context we have to take into consideration when we're going over new cards, is not just to say, like, is this card by itself good? Because some cards by themselves are really terrible. Mm-hmm. But in the context of a deck, like, take, for instance, Ancient Watcher. If I were to just reveal that card today and what's the deck? Handlock.
Handlock, yeah.
If Handlock wasn't a deck, and then you just saw Ancient Watcher, you would be like, wow, this card is really, really bad.
Right.
Like, what is it used for? But when you put a Sun Fury Protector next to it, or Owlet on turn 2 and Handlock, that card becomes really great. So I don't know.
Yeah, and so that's a good segue into starting to talk about some of the cards. And you brought up Healing Wave, which is a shaman spell, 3-mana spell. Reads, restore 7 health, reveal a minion in each deck. If it costs more, restore 14 instead.
Yeah.
So if yours
just
costs
as a heads up, going forward, if we talk about the reveal mechanic just for the purpose of time, we can just refer to it as Joust.
Yes.
I think everyone kind of knows what that means. So
yeah.
In this case, it's restore 7 health, Joust, restore 14 instead.
Right.
So what do you think about this card?
So my first reaction is that's pretty good. I'm trying to think, compared to other classes. So I guess one of the closest one is Holy Light and Paladin, which is a 2-mana spell, restore 6 health. So
there's a new one in Priest we'll get to in a second.
I haven't even seen that yet. Yeah. So it's one potentially, or it will be at least 1 health more heal for 1 more mana, which that itself isn't good. Shaman kind of needs a heal, so I'm kind of glad they have it. So I think that's what really made me excited. Then you get the Joust mechanic, and that's just ridiculous. However, and I think I see where you're going to come in from this, because then I start thinking about, okay, how are most Shaman decks built? And a lot of them are kind of mid-rangey. I guess really the only deck that we're seeing are a hybrid mech shaman, and that's what I've been seeing on tournament play anyway, quite a bit. So what are the chances of you really always going to get a 7 health versus a 14? Is that kind of where you're coming from too?
No, I mean...
Okay, what's your thought then?
I think... Do you play Magic much at all? Have you played
I haven't
Magic?
in a while. No, I have, but not in a while.
You've played Magic long enough to understand, in card games, a card that only says gain X life, no matter how much that life is just bad. Like, I don't understand. People are going insane about this card.
Okay.
Oh my God, you're going to gain 7 health or 14. We're going to gain 14 health. Face Hunter's dead. How do you think that's even possible? I don't get this card at all.
So
restore 7 health.
Yeah.
Best case scenario, restore 14 health.
Sure.
You're spending 3 mana and a card slot for this, and you're not even touching the board. Like,
right. Sure.
You're making 0 impact. So let's say we're going into turn 3. versus a face hunter. You want to play this on turn 3. You're going to play this card. That's your big kaboom. So face hunter at that point has maybe like a leper gnome, haunted creeper, and a wolf rider. So they, on turn 3, they swing with their wolf rider, their leper gnome. You're down to, we'll say, 20. You cast this card, and you gain. You can't gain 14 health, even if you win the joust, because you've only lost 20. So you gain 10 health, and you go back up to 30. So wow, you've done this awesome thing. Well, on turn 4, the hunter just plays, another one, or just shoots you in the face, equips the little 2 mana card that gives one of its, what's it called?
Now that you ask, I just
they hit you with a hero power, that's 2. They hit you with the weapon, that's another 2, so that's
Glaive
4.
Zuka.
Glaive Zuka. They hit you with a 4 power Wolf Rider, so that's 8. They hit you with Leper Gnome, that's another 2, so that's 10. You're already back down to 19.
Right.
What are you going to do on turn 4? Are you going to play this card again and gain?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I feel like this is going to be a bad card to draw early. It'll be a better card to draw late against an aggro deck. But here's the argument: if you're late game against an aggro deck, you're probably going to win.
Exactly. If you're
sure.
Let's say you cast this on turn 6, and you also play Lightning Storm. You clear their board. Yeah, that's really good. But that would have been good with Lightning Storm and Feral Spirits. The way that you stop Face Hunter is you kill its minions. You're eliminating more life loss by killing their minions and by putting up taunts than you are by just gaining life. Gaining life and wasting a card doing it and mana, that doesn't actually do anything. There are only a couple of cards, really one that I can think of in Hearthstone, that gain you life. 2. There are 2 cards that gain you life that see a pretty good bit of play. And it's Healbot and Lay on Hands. Those are the 2 that I can think of. Lay on Hands is good because it also draws you 3 cards.
Yeah.
Healbot is good because it gains you 8 life, and against Face Hunter, it probably kills 2 of their minions.
Right.
So basically what you're telling me is for an extra 2 mana against Face Hunter, I can kill 2 of their minions. So that's crazy. That's really good.
Yeah.
If you're valuing 7 life at 3 mana, that's really low. That doesn't do anything.
The only thing I could think of
that sets Hunter back 1 turn, but that also sets you back 1 turn.
The only thing I can think of is if you're going to be using it in a deck that asks for spells to be played. But again, my only thing, and this is what I'm afraid of, Shaman is in such a rough spot right now. I don't know what to expect. I'm looking at the cards that they've talked about, and some of them look really good. I just don't know where Shaman is going to be in a couple weeks.
Yeah, I just don't think it's life gain. I don't understand.
I hear you.
I'll bet anyone money that this card, literally, just shoot Mike a message. He'll get in touch with me. We will bet actual money. This card is not good. This card is not good. It's fine. It's okay, but there are cards that are already in the game that are better and don't see play. Healbot sees play in a few decks, but Healbot is way better than this card. Healbot gains you 8 life, which is 1 more than this. Sure, you may win the joust sometimes, and that's cool, but unless a card, the only way that a life gain card is good is if it's stapled to a card that's already not that bad. So in the example that we use of Lay on Hands could say gain 3 life and draw 3 cards, and people would still play it, like just because Paladin needs the card draw. Shaman doesn't need life gain. The reason Shaman's losing games is because the overload mechanic is weird. The totems are random, and like they don't have much good early game that doesn't set them back so that they can't play the best minion in the game on turn 6. Like that's why that Shaman's hurting. It's not. I don't know. This is not going to save you against Face Hunter.
No.
Just as a heads up from a guy that plays a lot of Face Hunter. Like, I want people to play this card.
Right.
Because it doesn't do anything.
I don't know.
Sorry, I don't mean
No. I completely
I haven't seen a single negative comment about this card at all. And that's just crazy to me.
No, I mean, I'm glad we kind of disagree. That makes for a boring podcast if we both agree on everything. No, I do follow your train of thought. I mean, there's a reason why cards like Holy Light aren't played, or I'm trying to think what's the
Healing Touch in Druid.
Yes, yeah. There's a reason why those aren't really played, and why Healbot is played in some of those.
Right. Because Healbot is a body that also destroys, 1 or 2 minions against aggro. So for 5 mana, if you had a card that just said destroy an opponent's minion and restore 8 health for 5 mana, like that's a good card. But if you just take away 2, you're telling me that destroying a minion is worth 2 additional mana. I'll pay the 2 additional mana,
Yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't do much early against Hunter. It does very little. And even if you use aggro pally, for example, like not just Hunter, because aggro pally's become I've seen way more aggro pally than I have Hunter, but like it doesn't. If it said restore 7 health and destroy a random enemy minion, like that's a good card. But you need to be dealing with the board. It's not great on turn 3. It's fine later on, maybe, maybe a little better. If you can 100% tell me that you're going to gain the 14 life and you're already going to have stuff on the board to take care of theirs, like if you're going to play Lightning Storm and this in one turn, like that's pretty cool. That might work.
Right, sure.
But like cards that are good in tandem with other cards are not good. I mean, they're fine, but like,
No, I do follow, and I think one of the weaknesses, and you brought it up a few minutes ago, was Shaman struggles with the early game, so you need the minions, smaller, cheaper minions, if not just spells, but even then the overload screws you over. So it's
on turn 2. On turn 2, you want to play Totem Golem. The new guy, the 3/4 for 2.
Fantastic.
Overload 1.
That's a good overload card. That is a fantastic card
against aggro.
Yeah.
You want to talk about something that kills a knife juggler and a leper gnome. That's cool.
Right.
For 3 mana, I'll play that.
Right.
Because you're eliminating a lot of damage.
Right.
But if you're just restoring 7 health and you're doing nothing to deal with your opponent's board, if you're just gaining 14 health, and like maybe I just don't see what's coming, and maybe Shaman uses this card, but I think it's actually better against control. Like
I agree.
You get down to the fatigue matches, let's say you're bashing it out, you as your mid-range Shaman deck, and you're bashing it out against this pally. You both got like 2 or 3 cards left. You play out your hand. He plays out his hand. He lay on hands. He can't cast lay on hands because it's going to burn and take away any health that he gains. But you cast this, and you immediately jump up 14 health points or 7 health. Like that's pretty good. But against aggro, I just don't see this. This is not a good against aggro card. A good deck. If people wanted Face Hunter to die, if people wanted aggro pally to die, they could just start playing Deathlord, double Deathlord in every deck.
Sure.
That would destroy. That would ruin Hunter.
It does.
There's no way for Hunter to deal with Deathlord without spending 3 cards at least.
Right.
Hunter, if you play that card on turn 3, Hunter loses 3 cards easy.
Yeah.
They're going to have to bash it in the face with... What are they going to do? Hit it with 2 Leper Gnomes? It's still at half health, and they've wasted 2 cards. Like, Deathlord's way better than this card, and that card already sees barely any play.
No, absolutely. Well, I
don't want to. I don't want to take up the whole time on this. Just one.
Right. It sounds like, I mean, if what you're saying is correct and everyone's going crazy, I hope this isn't another Drogzor. But I guess we'll see. I mean, again, we haven't seen all the cards yet. If we get a shaman deck that revolves around spells, I think it'll be amazing.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe.
You know what? Maybe now that we talk about this, it'll either be an amazing card or a garbage card. Maybe you're right. Maybe there's just no like, oh, it's a solid card. It's not. Maybe it's not solid. It's either fantastic or horrible.
I don't understand why life cards that only gain you life have always been bad, but all of a sudden, just because this says 14 on it, it's become good. Like the amount of life that you gain is irrelevant. It's negated by the fact that you're spending a turn to do nothing.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Speaking of a cool shaman spell, though, did you see Ancestral Knowledge?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, I think that card's great. Everyone's
I
talking about how bad the Overload 2 is, but I don't think you play this card on turn 2 anyway.
Right.
This is lay on hands for shaman. This is turn 7, turn 8. You're out of cards. You got 2 more.
And I'm wondering if maybe we'll start to see, well, maybe not. I see there's a lot of play where totems are being buffed. I want to see. Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I mean, you've got the Tuskar Totemic. I mean, that's a sweet card.
Thunderbuff Valiant.
Yeah,
that guy's cool.
I want to see Unbound Elemental make a comeback, but even then, that's probably not a solid play to let's say turn 3 out Unbound, turn 4 Ancestral Knowledge and Totem maybe, because then you're screwed. Your turn 5.
Well, Ancestral Knowledge and Totem Golem. There you go.
Ooh, there you go. Okay.
All right. So now your Unbound Elemental's huge.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think that's card draw, which, let's be honest, Shaman needs. I think that's another weakness they have. I think that's fine. I mean, think about Paladin. How many times, especially against control decks, that I'm playing a Lay on Hands, and I'm not playing it for the heal. I'm playing it for the card draw. It just feels gross doing it. It's like, oh, I just paid 8 mana to draw 3 cards and healed myself for 1.
I think that's where you're going to find yourself with Healing Wave 2. Not to backtrack too much, but especially if you have 2 in your deck.
I don't see that. Yeah,
if you're playing, I mean. If your whole goal though is to kill aggro, like you have to run 2 of these. That's what you're doing. It's the same reason you run 2 zombie chows, because you have to have it on a specific turn. I don't know.
Here's the thought: are there any neutral minions coming out, or that are? I can't think of any that are currently out that are buffed or have anything to do with healing, or is it just really spell?
I mean, there's a few in Priest, but that's not going to help in Shaman.
Right. Okay. I really can't think of any. I mean, other than Gadgetzan Auctioneer, which is too expensive. I won't go down that road anymore. I mean, you've got your token creators like blah, blah, blah. What's the tutor? I think it's a 4-drop. What's it called?
Oh, the chick that makes 1/1s.
Violet Teacher. Violet Teacher. Yeah.
That's her.
So 2 cards, and only one of them's really good anymore. And then, do you really want 1/1s in a shaman deck? With the exception of if I guess you're playing Bloodlust, but you probably want to play totems instead. Yeah, this might be it's weird because it's the way it plays where it gives you the 14, it's almost like, oh, this is a great anti-aggro card, but it really wants to play anti-control.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't, like, it gains you, like I said, in our scenario of you playing it on turn 3, it gains you about 10 life. Assuming you win, you could only gain 7. If they've got Savannah Highmanes in there, maybe they're or maybe it's an aggro pally and they reveal Defender of Argus and you reveal you're one of your little guys. I don't know.
Okay,
it just doesn't seem.
Here's one. I think this is an anti-mage card, like a freeze mage.
That's actually a really good point.
So
if they play Alex Straza and then you cast this card, that's fun.
So I guess you could say this is a tech card against maybe your freeze mages and your, I guess, any burn decks like freeze mage or rogues, where they have a finite amount of damage in the deck.
Yeah, so that would be pretty cool.
Maybe we'll see tournament play with this more than we'll see constructed.
I could see that. Like I said, it doesn't sound awesome on the ladder,
right?
But maybe if I'm completely wrong about the way Shaman looks, I don't know why. I don't know why every just gain life spell has always been bad, and this one all of a sudden is going to be good just because it gains more life.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of that, though, there is a priest card that I think is better. It's a Flash Heal, 1 mana, restore 5 health in priest.
Yes,
that's pretty cool.
That's dirty, and that's going to work on priest so good.
I think it's better just because it's in priest. I still don't think the card's good. I don't think it'll see play.
No,
I think that. No, I mean I think Light of the Naru.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah.
Better than this card.
Because in priest, you're not really worried about burn. You've got plenty of heal. You're right. I would rather play Light of the Naru.
Right.
Wait. Well, restore 5 health. So
yeah, at that point you're asking yourself, is the 2 additional health worth having a dude?
Right.
I don't know.
Oh, you can use it this way. So my other thought is you could use it if you're going to use one of the Akanai Soul Priest decks. That's a cheap burn.
That would be cool.
That's a cheap 10 damage burn for if you have 2 of them in your deck.
Yeah, what's his face? Firebat has been running what he calls Freeze Priest. That wins with Malagos and Mind Blast.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So
that's funny.
That's fun.
Well, yeah, again, I don't know if that's consistent or not to try to play that with an Akanai, but I always feel like I get most of the time I get value out of my Light of the Narus.
Yeah, I think Light of the Naru is good. I think the card, like I said, every card that gains you life is good because there's stuff stapled to that.
Right, sure.
I can't think of a single card that just says gain X life that people play right now.
Right. So life gain cards, kind of. I guess we've beat that one into the ground. Are there any other cards that you personally aren't interested in?
Well, people, I probably talk way too much about Hunter, but I really like Brave Archer, the new.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
2/1.
Yeah.
So people are kind of bashing on this guy because they say, all right, the whole if your hand is empty thing, and yeah, that's fine. That's not a lot of the time going to happen. With Quick Shot, I think maybe I get that 1 out of every 3 times I cast it or so. And usually when it happens, you don't want it to be happening. You'd rather have an additional card already. But I think Brave Archer fills a really cool spot that's something like, I think it's just an easy replace 1-for-1 in a deck like Face Hunter. Because the problem with Worgen Infiltrator is if you draw it on turn 7, if you draw it on turn 6, where you just need to deal a few extra damage. Like, the card's really terrible. It's going to sit on board. It's going to be really easy to remove with any kind of mass removal. Like, they're going to be killing your minions. Brave Archer can bypass taunts. Brave Archer is a really good turn 7 draw. Brave Archer, you can just drop it on turn 1. That's also fine. It's not where I don't think that's where the card shines, but people drop an abusive sergeant on turn 1 all the time.
Yes, sure.
So if you drop this card on turn 1 against mage and they coin ping it, I think you've gotten your value from it.
Sure.
And if you draw it on turn 7, turn 6, turn 5, like, this card's still really, really good. You can drop it, hit your hero power. That's 3 mana for 4 damage. So I like it.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think, when I compare it to cards like you're saying, Worgen Infiltrator, the only time I see where the Worgen's better is if you're going to buff it with, like, a Glaivezuka. But that's really kind of it. Otherwise, I think you're completely right. Like, turn 1, this is fine to drop. Turn 7, this is, you never want a 1-drop on any turn after, I guess, the first few. But if you're going to get one...
Except for this guy.
Yeah, this is the card you want, if you had to choose. Yeah. The only card I think is better... All right, I'll say this. I think the card that is more consistent is Leper Gnome, but I don't think you're suggesting to take out Leper Gnome to put this card in.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
Leper Gnome is far and above beyond better than this card, I think.
Obviously, if you get 2 hero powers off, this card's paid for itself, and it's a better card than Leper Gnome. But what are the chances of this card staying alive for 2 turns?
No, exactly. I think likely. This card is worse than Leper Gnome. I think this card is worse than Abusive Sergeant. But we're talking about 2 really good cards.
Yeah, sure.
I think those 2 cards are great.
Right.
I do think this card is better than Worgen Infiltrator.
Yeah.
Because Worgen Infiltrator, if you draw it late, it's bad.
Yeah.
Worgen Infiltrator, the only advantage it has over this card is that sometimes it's a better early card.
Right.
This card is always better than Worgen late.
Right. Sure. Yeah, I like consistency. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
I think it's awesome.
I don't think it's garbage at all. I think far from it.
No, I think people are kind of bashing it based on, like, well, the Inspire's never going to go off. You're probably right, but it's gonna sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And when it does, it's going to be really annoying, and you're going to have to remove a 2/1 for next turn. Like, so I don't know. Like, I think the card's great. I think it's just a really, really good addition to a deck that's already annoying in Face Hunter.
2 other cards that, we might have a few more to talk about, but 2 that I'm really interested in. We'll just start with this one first, the smaller one. Cut Purse. The rogue card. Yeah, it's a 2 for 2 minion rogue. And when it reads, when this minion attacks the enemy hero, put a coin in your hand. I see this as kind of like a, oh God, I'm having brain farts with card names right now. Not Mad Scientist, but the
summoner guy, the guy that makes your first minion each turn cost 1 less.
I'm sorry. No, it is Mad Scientist. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it was Mad Scientist. Like, I feel like this is the rogue equivalent to maybe that Mad Scientist to your mage, maybe, in a way, where you get the coin value out of that, which, obviously, rogues love both the spell and having the extra mana. I think this is a decent drop for rogues right now.
I think it's cool. I think it definitely... It's fine, maybe, in Oil Rogue. I don't know that they want this guy, but they could,
Yeah.
Like, it's easy for them to drop it on turn 2 and clear whatever the other person's playing.
Because that's the one thing I've hated about Rogue is they've got really good 2-drops, but you need to combo them to get the full value out of them.
Yeah.
And it's the thing. It's like, did I get coin? Of course, I'm going first now. I don't get to Defias Ringleader or Goblin Autobomber. Yeah. This kind of it doesn't matter. I'm gonna get the combo later, I guess, in a way.
Well, and I keep hearing people say this a lot, that this card's never going to make it to turn 3, or this card's just going to get killed. People have to spend resources to kill cards.
Yes.
And if they spend resources to kill a 2-drop, that's good.
Yep.
Like you're doing good.
Absolutely agree.
You want people to run, you want to be playing against Paladin and have them drop a shielded mini bot and have to waste, a turn getting rid of their divine. Obviously, shielded mini bots far and above, way better than this card. But for what this guy does, if they're having to spend resources to get rid of your cards, like, they've gotten value.
Right.
Even if the value isn't that it hit you and got a coin, it's still got value.
Yeah. Oh, it's the same argument as the dropping a Brave Hunter on turn 1 and making the Mage or the Hunter or the Rogue coin out a ping to get rid of it. That is
right. Exactly.
Oh, it's so much value right there.
It's great. It's really good. Whenever your opponent is having to spend resources because they can't, if you say of a card, well, they can't let this live until the next turn.
Right.
Well, let's say you have this guy out, you have Knife Juggler out, and then you play, the bandit guy, that the combo, like, you're playing a tempo rogue, so you're playing a bunch of little guys. Like, at a certain point, like, something's going to have to live. Mm-hmm. And if it can't be this guy, then it's because this guy's good.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'm excited.
You can't kill everything unless you're Pally and you consecrate. Like, then you kill everything. But
the other card I'm interested in, and I don't feel like this is the Flame Leviathan issue, is the Sea Reaver. It's a warrior card. It's a 6/7 for 6. Reads, when you draw this card, deal 1 damage to your minions. Especially with I guess really it's just Patron Warrior. I think they're going to eat this up. Now, what are they going to give up to play this? That's what I've been trying to figure out.
I don't know that this card is as good as... Yeah. The reason that Patron Warrior works right now is because they can set up the combo. This kind of... this is just... Like, you're never going to play this card on turn 6, are you? Like, if you just have it in your opening hand, do you ever want to drop this, or do you want to keep, drawing cards?
What you want to drop is your Thorazon.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, on turn 6, you've got this in your hand, you've got Thorazon. So, like, don't get me wrong, there's going to be a Trollden video that comes out. Someone draws this card, and it is the absolute nuts. Like, that will happen. Someone's gonna have their board set up, and then they're gonna play where you draw a whole bunch of cards. 2 mana, draw cards, and they're gonna draw this, and it's gonna go off, and that's gonna happen. But I don't know that this card is that good.
I don't think it's a solid. I like the idea of the synergy. That's what excites me about it, but. I think you kind of brought it up too. The only thing that Patron Warrior suffers from is card draw, and so I guess this is good if you have an Acolyte on the board and you draw this, then it's really good.
I just. But that's. I mean, they've already got just got so many. They've got so many different tools. I don't know where this would fit.
Yeah, the space is already limited.
Warrior is one of those decks that unless there's a card that comes out that says, all of your patrons get +9/+9. Like, there's probably not going to be many changes in the patron world until the deck becomes bad. Right now, it's just so good.
Yeah.
And I don't know that this card makes it any better. I just think this is a randomly timed whirlwind that's not really playable on curve in a deck that, you know, relies on getting out Thor Sand on turn 6, and this kind of fills that spot. I don't
know. Paladin cards I'm kind of excited about. Let's see, the Warhorse Trainer. I kind of like that card.
The Silverhand. That's the 3 mana 2/4. Your Silverhand recruits have +1 attack.
Yeah.
So what do you think's better, this guy or because I don't know that you run. So let's say you're playing mid-range Paladin. Do you run this guy, the Follow the Rules guy, and then also run the Silverhand Regent? That's the 3/3 for 3 Inspire, summon a 1/1 Silverhand Recruit.
I don't know.
So you run all 3 of those at 3?
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you run Muster for Battle?
I don't know.
So that's 8 cards at 3.
Yeah. Yeah, in a deck that's already hurting for space. I don't know. That's tough.
I think the card's good. I definitely think it's cool. I would like it a lot better if the effect were not. If the effect was a battle cry and not like an anthem. Because you can kind of kill this guy off and they lose the 1 attack.
Right.
But then again, if you made it a battle cry, like, isn't it just broken then? I don't know. There's a weird balance.
Yeah.
Do you like the Argent Lance, the reveal a minion in the Joust and +1 durability? I think it's fine, but it's not Coghammer.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. I
mean, for 1 additional mana with Coghammer, you basically get Divine Shield and Taunt on a minion.
So
this is a pretty good weapon. In other classes, I think it would get played more. But I think with Paladin, you already got basically the best weapon in the game.
I would agree to an extent. Yeah, I think. What I hate is the number of times that you've got cards that either equip you weapon. Well, obviously they all do that. Your Muster for Battle or your True Silvers. And then worst case scenario is your Tyrion died and you've got that 5 attack and all you have in your hand is weapon cards. You're like, oh god, the last thing I want to do is overlay this.
Right.
But I also think about early game. What am I having to give up to play this? Like, obviously, I'm not giving up mini bots at all.
Yeah, you're not going to play. You'd rather a shielded mini bot. You might like this over a Knife Juggler just because Knife Juggler's not really a turn.
Yeah, I've had a really hard time playing Knife Juggler in Muster for Battle lately. I've really, really, really been thinking about taking that card out. Maybe this would fit in there nice.
Knife Juggler?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people play that card specifically wrong. This is an entirely different conversation in and of itself.
Yeah.
But I think this kind of gets back to the deal we were talking with the cut purse guy. I'll play a naked mini bot on turn 2, not a mini bot, a naked Knife Juggler on turn 2 a lot.
Just to throw the threat out there. Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you're playing Warrior and like they have to equip Fiery War Axe and hit it with it, like that's still fine. You're still dealing 3 damage for 2 mana. That's not the worst thing in the world. And they, like we said, it's a card that they have to deal with. So.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know.
I play. I've been playing the 2 mana guy that gives Divine Shield to another minion.
Yes, I love that. Argent Protector. Protector.
He's really good. Why don't people play him?
I've been seeing him a lot more, and Avery's been playing him a lot in his aggro Paladin deck.
I've got I've got an aggro pally list right now that runs 2 Blood Knights.
It really,
it's awesome.
It really throws people off, because they're like, oh, you'll make this trade and I'll come out on top. No, not so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I like that card. It's almost like, what do you play instead in the 2 slot? And it's almost like the rogue problem where you don't drop that on turn 2. That's kind of a tech card that you save for later.
I don't know, man. In aggro pally, I've been dropping leper gnomes on turn 1, turn 2, Argent Protector.
Now that's a good play. Yeah.
Put a shield on there.
Yeah,
that works out.
Yeah,
a shielded leper gnome. That's enough to make people mad.
Rage quit for days.
But yeah, Pally. I think Pally's already in a good spot. You could introduce no Pally cards, and I think Paladin. Right now, aggro Pally's good, but if the meta slows back down, the mid-range Pally will pick back up. I think about where it was, and it'll be fine. Yeah. The only thing that's pushing Pally out of the meta right now is Patron Warrior, and they've already shown us that they're not going to do anything about that. So
don't bring it up. That's so sad. Well, I mean, any of the cards. I mean, the only other thing that I've kind of perplexed about is the taunt in Warrior, like kind of bolster King's Defender.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm interested by it. It's almost like, oh, that would be amazing in Warlocks or Druids, but
yeah. So for those that don't know what we're talking about, there's the 2 mana card. It's a warrior specific 2 mana. Give your taunt minions +2/+2. So how many guys do you have to have on board with taunt to make this worth it? I think
sure.
What, 2?
Yeah.
I think you're happy with 2. If you get +4/+4 on a 2 mana card, that's probably good.
Right.
So I don't know. You're gonna be playing someone at rank 17, and they're gonna play this card, and it's gonna win them the game, and you're gonna be really mad.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess the only time that I could see it consistent is they kill your Sledge Belcher and you've got a 1/2 slime left over. But do you really want to buff? Is that annoying?
I don't know,
is it just annoying, or does it make a good strong play?
I don't know. You could argue that there would be this would be like the Hobgoblin scenario where there's enough bad taunts that don't see play. Like, what if on turn 5 you play what's the 1 mana 1/2 with taunt? Batty McBatterson.
Yeah. God. I know. Everyone's going. Come on. You know what that's called.
Right. So turn 5 you play that into Annoyatron and then this card. So now you got a for 5 mana you've got a 3/4 Divine Shield taunt and a 3/4 Divine Shield taunt and a 3/4 regular taunt.
Yeah.
For 5 mana. That's pretty cool.
Maybe.
I'm not saying it's good. I'm not saying Hobgoblin is good either. But people that deck work.
Hey, that was a fun deck.
Someone's gonna try it, and like I said, you're gonna be at rank 17, and you're gonna rage quit because some guy's gonna do that to you, and it's gonna be funny.
Yeah.
Did you guys already talk about Darkbane and Lightbane? Iadis and Viola.
Oh yes, the Valkyries. Yes. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
Yeah. What are your thoughts? Go ahead and talk about what your thoughts are. We already know what the boys think, but I mean, what do you think?
I think the 3 damage one's better. I think they're both playable.
Yeah, that's exactly what we both thought.
I think that both of these are going to go in aggro pally. I think they're crazy good. The 3 damage one's probably a little better just because it has an impact the turn you play it.
Yeah.
Whereas the other can conceivably have impact the turn you play it, but most likely it's only going to happen once per turn. Whereas, you can load up Darkbane.
Yeah.
The 3 damage one. You can just go crazy.
I kind of wish they did something like, oh God. God, I'm having a brave part right now. The 2 Death Rattle cards we got next, Ramus, that when one died, the other one died, you summon the 11/11.
Oh, yeah. I know you're talking about.
Stalag and Fukin. There you go.
Yes.
I kind of wish they did something together, because then, I agree with you. I think Darkbane is going to be played alone in a lot of decks.
Yeah. She by herself is good enough to see play right now in several different decks.
Yeah.
She would be played in Priest. She would be played in Aggro Pally. Possibly maybe even like a token Druid if that became a thing again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many decks I could see this being played in. Yeah. Whereas, I think you're right. Lightbane is maybe just a Paladin thing. Maybe
Paladin or Priest.
Yeah, that's very true. Very true. Yep.
If you get this off, if you get this off on turn 3, and then turn 4 you Valen's Chosen. Is that the?
Yep.
Valen's Chosen it and run it into something, and then
that's dirty.
Do the 1 mana.
Oh wow, I didn't even think about that. Valen's Chosen.
So you put Valen's Chosen on it. You run it into something. Now it's a 6/14 or whatever. That's Divine Shield.
Dirty. Ooh, okay.
And then
all right.
After that you what's the 1 mana spell that gives it +2 health? So then you put the Divine Shield back on it again.
Right.
So that, I don't know, that could be crazy.
Yeah. Man, yeah. All right, well.
I think so have you seen one other card, and then we'll kind of bounce off of this, but have you seen Astral Communion? Gain 10 mana crystals, discard your hand.
Oh, that's dirty.
This card is either the coolest thing in the world or the most dangerous card ever printed.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's gotta be bad. Like, they have to have play tested this.
Well, here's the thing. Here's my thought. So you're like, oh, it's going to be great. We're going to make this card, and the dream is you get coin and, or I guess you could wild growth and then do an innervate, and then you've got 10 mana for the rest of the game.
Oh yeah, obviously. Like, that's going to happen all the time, right?
Let's just say that, yeah. If you're playing against me, it is. Let's just say you go first, and you get 2 innervates in your hand. Fantastic. You play both of them. I got 10 mana, and you've got 1 card in your hand. So turn 2 rolls around, you've got 2 cards in your hand.
Well, no, you discard.
I'm sorry. You're right. So you're okay. So you're back to 1 card, right? So you're back to 1 card. Is that really good? Because then you're just top decking.
It's good if it's what's the
sure,
the lore guy, the draw 2 cards, play a 5/5 draw 2 cards, then it's awesome.
Yes. So I guess what I want to see is the
Ancient of War, Ancient of Lore. That's it.
I want to see the math on, what are your chances of drawing this and being able to play it really early, and then what are the chances of you getting more cards? There's just so many factors. I don't know.
I've seen the stats on, like mulliganing to Fiery War Axe, because that's basically the same thing. You have to build a deck around this. So I think it's like 70% if you mulligan your entire hand away every turn, specifically looking for Fiery War Axe. So if you can guarantee that on turn 1 you have a Fiery War Axe 60 to 70% of the time, that probably goes up a little because you're going to draw 2 or 3 cards between turn 1 and turn 4. So your goal is to always have this card. But the problem is you can't play anything that isn't relevant, past
because it
6 or 7.
The dream is that you get the innervates, or you go second and get the coin, and then you get to play this on turn 1 with just an innervate, and that you don't discard anything else worthwhile.
Right.
But it's not just I need Astral Communion. I need that card. I need innervate. I might need coin. Maybe I need 2 innervates before you get diminishing returns of just discarding your entire hand and throwing it all everywhere.
I'm gonna play a deck that's every big legendary in this card. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be really, really funny, but I don't know that it's gonna be viable. Like, because if you're what the funny thing is, like, even you can't even do, like, you can't put the giants in this deck, like Molten Giant or anything, because let's imagine you have Mountain Giant and you draw it and it's like, sorry, you can't play it. It's 11 mana, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have no cards in hand.
I think that's right.
So you can't play the giants. You have to play stuff like you have to play Boom, Sylvanas, all the big guys, the heavy hitters.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
You could play the new 9 mana.
Yeah.
A Vinia Druid card, but even that's not good in this deck.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really funny when a Handlock plays Nefarian and gets this card and just goes, damn it.
There are a lot of cards like that, especially in Druid, like the Darnassus Aspirant, the Battlecry, gain an empty mana crystal, Death Rattle, destroy a mana crystal.
Yeah.
What's going to be really funny is when you get this off piloted Shredder.
Yes.
That's going to be fun.
Yep.
Or the even more evil thing. So you're playing as Druid against Mage, and they drop their little mad scientist. You kill it, knowing that it's Mirror Entity, and then you play Darnassus Aspirant into Mirror Entity, and kill their Darnassus Aspirant.
Right.
So you have now destroyed a mana crystal in Hearthstone. I don't think that's ever possible.
No. So we talked, for those of you playing at home, we talked about this last week, and if you don't know what's going on, Darnassus Aspirant is a 2/3 for 2 Druid minion. Reads Battlecry, gain an empty mana crystal. Death Rattle, destroy a mana crystal. So the idea is if something like Mirror Entity or it pops out of a Shredder, the Battlecry does not happen, but the Death Rattle still will happen. So it effectively destroys a mana crystal for a turn for either you or an opponent. If it comes out,
not just for a turn in this case, it destroys
the whole game. Very true. The whole game, technically, yeah. So I think it's hilarious. I like it.
on Druid. No, we'll skip that card. That's not good. Never mind. Go ahead.
No. I mean, those are really the ones I really wanted to really dig into. I mean, we talked about at the beginning. I don't want to go into every card. One, because I'm sure, if any of you are either reading up on the internet or you listen to the podcast, what's going on. And if you, I guess the other thing is, I don't really want to go into it too much because we don't really know what's going to be good and what's going to be bad until we see everything.
Right.
And to be fair, I'm not an expert deck builder. So for all I know, I'm looking at a card other than Silent Knight. I'm telling you right now, Silent Knight's going to be a heavy hitter. So Avery, suck it. I'm going to be right.
All right. Proclamations. Silent Knight is going to be awesome.
That's right.
And Healing, what was it?
Healing Wave.
Healing Wave, the worst card ever printed.
That's a mighty fine, strong statement there, sir.
Yeah, I don't think it's the worst card ever printed. I don't understand why there hasn't been any negative feedback whatsoever about this card. Right. Sorry, I don't mean to harp on it. It's just
I do see where you're coming from. I guess my uncertainty is I don't know what's going to come from Shaman in the next few weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
we'll see,
and that's fair.
Yeah,
that is completely fair.
Well,
but I'm pretty excited. Like, there are enough cards in this set that I will have to buy more packs than I thought I would.
Yeah. Did you already go ahead and pre-order the $50? Was it 60 packs or 50 packs?
No, I didn't, because I've got about 3K gold.
Okay.
So I've got 3K gold and I've got about 3,500 dust.
Okay.
I don't have a full collection like you. I haven't crafted any of the quote unquote bad legendaries, but the only like good card that I'm missing from the original set is Ysera, and I just haven't crafted her because I don't know what I would play her in.
Yeah, she kind of floats in and out, I've noticed.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm going to buy about 20 packs, probably with cash, probably buy about 20 packs with gold, and then about 30 packs with gold. So that'll give me my 50 packs.
Yeah.
And then if there are any cards that I need, I'm sure I can craft them.
Right.
Like, I did the same thing with GVG. I spent $40 on GVG when it came out. I bought I bought 40 packs for $50 is what I did when GVG came out. Yeah. And I've never purchased another pack of GVG since.
Yeah.
Everything that I wanted, I either crafted or opened. So.
Right.
Oh, I take that. Okay, yeah, I did craft Dr. Boom, but...
Of course. Dr. Balance, got to get it.
Yeah. So, I'm excited, man. This set should be pretty cool.
So, I guess a couple weeks, and we'll see it drop, and maybe we'll see the end of Patron without even Blizzard needing to nerf it.
What's the first deck you're queuing up, just based on what we've seen?
Good question. I don't know. Probably a Paladin.
Yeah,
I think so. That's one of the ones cool. I've been most interested in. I think. I'm not really inspired by Inspired to make a really bad joke.
Yeah.
The whole joust mechanic I really like. So
it could be interesting. I think it'll be better in mid-range pally than it is in
yes, absolutely.
than it is in like an aggro list. But it could be fun. We'll see. There are enough cards still to be spoiled yet.
Yeah, that's very true.
You can't make a definitive statement as to people. I know I'm playing Face Hunter just because everyone's going to be trying all this fun stuff. Yeah, and I'm just going to be getting all the friend requests.
Right. Is that what we're calling them now? Just friend requests?
Yeah. What's funny? Did you play the Tavern Brawl this last week?
Yes.
All right. The one everyone's played it. I'm sure you. Every time a minion dies, it summons a minion that costs 2 less.
Mm-hmm.
I played Face Hunter in it, and I didn't even take out the leper gnomes. I still played them. So, because I knew, like, all right, no one else is going to play a 1 or a 2 drop. Like, no one else is going to play a 1. They're all going to play, like, 2, 3, and 4. So, turn 1, I would just drop 2 leper gnomes, and all right, cool. They don't summon anything, but what are you going to do about them? Right. They still do 2 damage every turn. And so I just played Face Hunter like 2 or 3 times. It was so fun.
So you're one of those people. It was probably 4 or 5 games into it before I won one, because all I kept running into were ladder decks. People would literally just copy and paste. I played against a Handlock, a Oil Rogue, I think a Tempo Mage. It was 4 or 5 decks of it was strictly ladder. And I did exactly what I did. I said, screw it. And I just went Face Hunter and won the next game. I tried to enjoy it.
This week was really lazy on Blizzard's part. I feel like they were just like, all right, what can we do that doesn't cost us any time? Because we screwed up the week before and made the wrong one available. So, but yeah, I just played Face Hunter. That's probably what I'll do at the beginning of the season. It should be fast, because everyone's talking about. I keep hearing, oh, the meta's going to be slowed down. Well, there's not anything printed so far to slow down a meta. You can't just print really slow cards. You have to print cards that are good against the current fast cards.
Yes. Yeah.
And if people think that that Healing Wave is good against Face Hunter, then I'm going to play Face Hunter.
Right.
Because if gaining 7 to 8 to 10 life is what you want to do, I'll eat your soul.
Right.
I'll be the really unfun guy that everyone dislikes.
Well, I think the meta is going to be slowed down because of Silent Night. That's the linchpin in everything.
Oh, he is the sole purpose.
The sole purpose of this release. So, Avery, come at me, bro. Well, any other final thoughts on what we've seen this week, or what we talked about, or?
No, I think we're good. I'm pretty excited. All the cards look pretty fun. Like I said, I mean, I'm sure that if we didn't go over a card that you want, there are lots of other websites and podcasts that have done the same, but that's not really what we're trying to do. We're just talking about cards that we're excited about.
Right. I mean, if folks, if there is one that you want to have us dive into, kind of like we did with Healing Wave this evening, just write in and ask. We're more than happy to do it. Especially if you've got something specific, maybe it's a specific deck that you're thinking about, just theory crafting. We'd love to hear it. I know we here on the show have been doing that with several cards. But if you've got something in mind that you really think is gonna make an impact, I'd love to hear it and love to debate it here on the show. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
there's enough people that are on this show regularly. There's always going to be differing opinions.
Yes,
so Mushu probably is sitting at home right now listening to this and thinking, "Oh my God,
he's foaming at the mouth in anger."
Idiot. I can't believe this idiot Hunter player. What is wrong with him?
It's true.
And he goes and flushes its spoil it, and it goes the reverse.
Well, with that, we're going to have a bit of a short episode this week, but it's kind of late, so at least wanted to put something out there for you folks. So, again, don't forget you can write at us at mail@deathrattlecrew.com. That goes towards the giveaways, the swag giveaways. So if you want free stuff, all you got to do is follow us on Twitter or YouTube or write in. It's that easy. That's all you got to do. We're going to be back to a finally normal schedule. I'm going to be a good host finally and be here for it at the arranged times. So with that, I am Tac2, joined by the legend formerly known as Jeremy, and we will see you next week.
See you guys.